It started on a Tuesday. It almost ended very differently. The Husky kept getting between them. Every time Serena crouched down beside her daughter, Zola the dog was there first. Body sideways, filling the space, eyes not on Serena, but on the wall across the room, not growling, not stiff, just present, in a way that made it impossible to ignore. His name was Kodiak. He was 5, silver and white, the kind of husky who thought deeply about everything and communicated most of it through his eyebrows. For 22 months he had shared space with a toddler without incident. Now this. Kodiak walked in from the hallway and placed himself between them and the hallway entrance, sideways, like a door. He looked at the wall. Serena put the book down. Kodiak, move. He glanced at her. He did not move. She stood. He stepped back exactly as much as she stepped forward. 1 step, maintaining the gap. She called her sister, who had 2 dogs. Her sister said, jealousy and resource guarding. Classic husky behavior. He sees the toddler as competition for your attention. You need to correct it now before it escalates. Serena had a degree in early childhood education. She had taken a course on canine behavior when she adopted Kodiak. Everything her sister said matched her existing framework, and that match felt like certainty, and certainty felt like an answer. She bought a dog gate. She started separating Kodiak to the kitchen during the time she spent on the floor with Zola. The first day, he sat behind the gate and looked at them through the mesh. The second day, he began pawing at the base of the gate with 1 paw. Steady, patient. The third day, he howled once, a single low note, and then went quiet. That night, Serena woke at 2:40 with a headache. She noted it and went back to sleep. She woke again at 4:15 with the headache worse. She lay in the dark trying to locate where the headache was concentrated, behind the eyes, the particular pressing kind. She had read about that kind of headache. From the kitchen, Kodiak began to howl. Not long, theatrical husky howls. The low, sustained vocalization of an animal who had been trying the gate for 3 days and had shifted to the only thing left. Her husband, Marco, woke beside her. What is that? Serena was already at the door. She crossed to the kitchen. Kodiak was at the gate, pressing against it the full weight of him. Systematic. She opened the gate. He went past her. Not to Zola's room, to the basement door in the hallway. If you stay for stories about what animals sense before we do, you're in the right place. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Serena stood in the hallway at 4:15 in the morning with a headache that was getting worse and a husky sitting at her basement door. And something that was not knowledge, but was below knowledge, made her open that door. The smell was not strong. It was faint. Almost not there. But it was wrong. The quality of the air at the top of the basement stairs was wrong in a way she could feel in her nose and behind her eyes. She closed the door. She took Zola from her crib. She woke Marco. They left the house through the front door and she called 911 from the driveway. The carbon monoxide reading in the basement when the fire department arrived was 142 parts per million. The safe limit for continuous exposure is 35. At 142, the symptoms in an adult are headache and fatigue. In a toddler, smaller lungs, faster respiratory rate, less blood volume. The absorption rate is roughly 3 times higher. and the neurological threshold is reached before symptoms a parent would recognize appear. The water heater flue had cracked. The crack was only interior facing side, invisible without disassembly. It had been leaking for approximately 5 days. The crew chief told them that carbon monoxide at that concentration, in a closed house overnight, in a room with a toddler whose door was closed, in another 6 to 8 hours. He didn't finish the sentence. Has your dog ever done something you misread and later understood completely? Tell us in the comments. These stories deserve to be heard. The fireplace inspector who came the next week asked Marco how they had known to check the basement. Marco pointed at Kodiak. The inspector wrote something in his report. Serena didn't see what he wrote. She was sitting on the back porch with Zola in her lap and Kodiak's chin resting on her knee. And she was thinking about Tuesday, about Wednesday, about a husky who kept getting between her and the hallway and staring at a wall. Not at her, not at Zola, at the wall behind which the flue was cracking. Not jealousy. Navigation. He'd been showing her what to look at for 5 days, and she had used everything she knew to explain it differently. He had been right all along. Every garden deserves to be recognized, even the ones who come from the unexpected direction. Subscribe so you never miss the next one. The next story, a dog who refused to let a mother sleep for 11 days straight. Everyone thought he was anxious. He wasn't.